Right, hello people. This weekend we have the Ring 6, I believe. Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson for the WBO and Ring Magazine Super Lightweight World titles. And yeah, man, this is one of the best fights we're going to get this year, I believe. Well, one of the most interesting, let's just say. On paper, it's a really, really intriguing matchup. And I've actually got notes for this video. I've written down some notes, which I'll show on screen now, which I've never done before. Mainly because I really don't want to miss out any of my thoughts on this fight, so I thought I'd write them down. And let's get into it. The form of both men is interesting going into this fight. Shakur Stevenson, of course, WBC lightweight champion, has been the WBC lightweight champion since his fight with Edwin De Los Santos back in 2023, November of 2023, which was a very contentious fight, let's just say, to put it lightly. Let's put it very lightly. It was a stinker. It was a horrific stinker. I believe Shakur suffered a hand injury in there. It was a big thing. Yeah, not many people were happy with him in that performance. What I took from it was the fact that he's willing to do whatever it takes to win, and if that's stink it up because he's injured, he will stink it up. Then goes and beats Artem Hurtanarian, which is a decent win. He performed decently well, but where the run of form for Shakur really starts to kind of look up is in the Josh Padley and William Zepeda fights. Josh Padley, of course, was a short notice replacement, but Shakur did exactly what he needed to do against that caliber of opponent. Obviously, Josh Padley is kind of a British fighter, of course, decent fighter, maybe European level, I don't know. Good fighter, but not of Shakur's elite level. And Shakur did exactly what he needs to do in 9 rounds, stopping him with body shots. And in the William Zepeda fight a few months ago, now this was just a phenomenal performance by Shakur Stevenson. Showed that he could beat Zepeda at his own game. Zepeda's got a very tricky game, which is, walk you down and throw ridiculously high volume, and Shakur beat him at that. Shakur's defense was really the difference maker. He was obviously, his distance management was on point. He's showed a Philly shell, really effective Philly shell, and looked brilliant in that fight, beating Zepeda at his own game, standing there with him and trading a little bit. I say trading, well, it was more Zepeda getting hit. Shakur wasn't getting hit, but you know what I mean. Teofimo Lopez's run of form is always interesting to analyse. He's been the WBO World Super Lightweight champion since his win against Josh Taylor back in 2023, which was an exceptional win and an exceptional performance from Teofimo Lopez, especially coming off that Sandor Martin fight, where to say that I was contentious is, putting it lightly. A lot of people thought Sandor Martin got the win there, was dropped in round 2, was Lopez. So yeah, going into that fight, we were unsure of where Teo was in his career. I actually picked Josh Taylor to win, which is a bit of a theme with me and Teofimo Lopez, me picking against him. I think he's very, very good, but his run of form is so patchy in moments. It's hard to pick a fight with Teo because you never know which version you're going to get. And then we get Jermaine Ortiz. Now, a lot of people will critique this fight and say Jermaine Ortiz was running. I watched it back the other day and I didn't think he was running. I thought he employed a lot of movement. I thought it was a very movement-heavy game plan. But people say you can't give Jermaine Ortiz that fight because he was running, but he was making Teo miss and he was landing more. It's literally the sport of getting hit, of you know what I mean? Hit and not get hit. That's literally one of the fucking most said things in boxing. And that's exactly what Jermaine Ortiz did, and Teofimo Lopez showed, some problems in there. Wasn't closing distance effectively at all, was lunging in, trying to use the explosiveness to get to Jermaine Ortiz. Couldn't, he was getting countered, and couldn't cut the ring off for shit. And after that, we have his fight against Steve Claggett. Now, Steve Claggett is a tough fighter, but he really isn't anything special. He's only been stopped once in his career. Teo did what he needed to do, but it didn't exactly set the world alight. It was kind of more of a... I feel like most people don't even remember that fight happened, if I'm being completely honest with you. It was just one of them. It's just one of them kind of, let's just get you back in the ring kind of thing. And another fight that I picked against Teofimo Lopez in, Arnold Barboza Jr. This is also one of Teofimo Lopez's better performances of his career, going up against an Arnold Barboza Jr. who was 32-0 at the time, beating him by 12-round unanimous decision. Yeah, I just thought Barboza could employ the correct game plans. I saw him as fairly versatile, if not the most athletically talented, but very versatile, well schooled kind of thing. And I thought he can employ the right tactics against Teo. But Teo seems to come up in these big moments and do really, really well. Looked great in that fight. Defense was sharp. Counters were sharp. Really, really beautiful display from Teofimo Lopez. Wouldn't call it an outright schooling, but it was very, very good. And that brings us to today, where Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez will meet in Madison Square Garden on January 31st on DAZN. Now, this has the possibility to be a stinker of a fight. I'm just going to get that out of the way now. This is very likely going to be a very cagey affair. Not that that's problematic, because problematic for me anyway. The thing with boxing is a fight can be boring, but you can still appreciate it. The only exceptions I have to that are when someone is excessively moving, a la William Skull against Canelo, or excessive holding, Lawrence Okoli against a lot of people, right? That's the only times it's not boxing. If a guy is hitting you, not getting hit, and they're not doing anything to stall the action or anything like that, or they don't look like they're there to win, it's good for me. Like, I think these fights will be more entertaining than this fight, but the Bivol Butterbeev duology. You know what I mean? That's not exactly a fucking Gatty Ward brawl, is it? But it was a very good technical boxing match. But I do believe this fight will be cagier than that, and I'll get into it why. I'll get into the keys to victory for both men now. For Teofimo Lopez, I'll say he's got to stay patient, he's got to stay disciplined, he's got to keep it at his range, and he's got to make Shakur come forward. Sorry, people, I don't even know where I was there. Yeah, he's got to keep it at his range, keep it at his distance. He's got to stay disciplined, measured, controlled, whatever word you want to use, unemotional, not get frustrated, and fight his fight, which is a more of a counter-punching fight, right? Teofimo Lopez would like to keep it on the outside, will like it when a guy comes forward to him, and he likes to counter him with his explosive movements, right? That's where he does his best work, when a guy's coming to him, when he can employ a more counter-punching strategy. Another tactic for Teo is definitely use some feints, keep Shakur thinking. If you're going to keep this fight cagey, keep him thinking. Foot feints, so he doesn't know if you're going to enter or not. Hand feints, of course, just so he doesn't know when you're going to attack. And then maybe you'll get Shakur thinking. Shakur think, right, I'm trailing a little behind in this fight, or it's too close for comfort. And then he'll try and he'll come forward himself. You'll be able to get off your counters and really give yourself the best chance. Now, that's Teo's strategy. Could I see him winning with that style? I'm going to be honest with you. While that gives Teo his absolute best chance of winning, I fail to think it will work, because Shakur can come forward, Shakur can feint himself. Shakur's really, really, really underrated in the pocket. We saw that against William Zepeda. He's really good in the pocket. Uses frames really well to just distract you. Will pin your guard. Will dig head and body. Will mix up well with combinations. Distance management is amazing, so we can take a little step back and just be out of the range of your shot. So while it definitely does give Teofimo Lopez his absolute best chance of winning, it is still not an absolute guarantee. We have not seen many weaknesses in Shakur's game. So it's very hard to tell you what he can do to win, basically. It's a tricky one, because Shakur's looked invincible. He's not, but he's looked invincible. Do you know what I mean? Nobody's really given him hell, for example. And what Teofimo Lopez can't do is he can't get fucking hell. And what Teofimo Lopez can't do is he can't get frustrated, start pressuring Shakur. You know, Teofimo Lopez is a very low guard, very hands down, loose style. And when he comes forward, that is of course, presents a myriad of openings, right? Especially if a fighter like Shakur, who's so precise and picks his shot so well, you're just leaving yourself as an open target. Teofimo Lopez doesn't exactly close distance very well going forward. He does tend to lunge a lot. Sometimes he gets away with that because he is so explosive. But against a fighter with the foot speed, the timing of Shakur, and the eyes, you're going to get countered all night, I think, by employing that strategy. What Shakur's got to do, Shakur's got to stay calm and composed, of course. He usually does, but he's never been. I wouldn't say he's ever been in here with the caliber of fighter of Teofimo Lopez. So as calm and composed as he's looked, he's never been in there with a guy who could present some real trouble to him, right? Because say Teofimo Lopez is, fuck me, I can't speak today. Say if Teofimo Lopez's tactics, I said he should employ, he does employ, and they start working, and he starts trailing in the fight. You know what I mean? Shakur's never trailed in a fight. He's maybe lost a round here or there, but he's never lost a stretch of rounds. He's never, no one's ever had the momentum against him, right? It's always been Shakur's got the momentum, someone maybe gets around, then Shakur just runs away with the rest of it, right? It's never been someone's got, I don't know, 3 rounds against Shakur in a row kind of thing. Whereas with Teofimo Lopez, maybe that's a big possibility. He's got to remember that his greatest strength, like, he can't let this become an ego thing, which I don't think he will. He's, like I said earlier, he's the type of fighter who just kind of does whatever it takes to win, but he can't let this be an ego thing, right? He's got to remember that his best strengths are some of Teo's his greatest weaknesses, at least from what we've seen with Teo. We don't know how much he could have improved in the training camp. From what we've seen, Shakur's greatest strengths, his footwork, his timing, and his inside game are some of Teofimo Lopez's biggest weaknesses. Not that Teofimo has a specifically really weak inside game, but the footwork and the timing present huge issues for him. He doesn't cut the ring off well, and he's open. But yeah, it's very similar for Shakur like it is Teo. He can't let Teo sucker him into. He can't let Teo dictate what the fight is. Can't let Teo dictate the fight, and it's Teofimo Lopez is countering Shakur. He's got to stay disciplined. He's got to stay measured. Both men have to employ very similar tactics to beat the others. It's a very weird thing. But yeah. What Shakur can't do is he can't get suckered into a fight. Simple as that, really. He's got to keep it a boxing match. He's got to keep it cagey. That's the kind of fight he wins. He sees very well. Can't get suckered into a fight, because I don't think many people are talking about if this becomes a fight, right? A lot of people are talking about it being a boxing match, and Teofimo Lopez being this great counterpuncher, Shakur being very similar, a defensive wizard. But nobody's talking about what if Teo starts off, right, with a counterpunching game plan, making Shakur come to him, and then he just suckers Shakur into a fight. Like, he gets a bit of momentum and it just becomes a fight. Maybe Shakur is down a few rounds, he gets desperate, he gets easily lured into that. I think that gives Teo a major edge with his explosiveness and athleticism. Yeah, man. This fight really is like Shakur's IQ and skill versus Teo's athleticism and explosiveness. Not that Teofimo Lopez isn't skilled and doesn't have a good boxing IQ. I think the IQ's been put in question a few times. There's been some questionable corner work, which definitely factors into the adjustments a fighter makes. And there's been some questionable performances where he hasn't made the correct adjustments to get the win. One more thing Shakur can't do is he can't move back in straight lines. In the past, he has moved back in straight lines. He is obviously very defensively good, quick feet, good eyes, good reflexes, good distance management. Against Teo has very quick feet. You don't want to do that. You say you got to give Teo, Teo hasn't knocked anyone out in a long time. You got to give Teo the one punch power advantage. And if Shakur moves back in straight lines, like he's been able to get away with in the past, Teo could catch him and put him down, flash knockdown maybe, off balance kind of, perhaps. But yeah, if I had to kind of get into how this is going to go round by round, I think it's just going to be a cagey fight, man. It's hard to kind of break down how a cagey fight's going to go. I think Teo's just going to slip behind a little bit. I think Shakur's got the superior superior hand speed, and I think Teo's going to try and employ the correct game plan. Shakur's going to take the lead. He's going to be a bit too quick for Teo. Teo's going to slug behind a little bit. Maybe Teo's going to get a little bit desperate, and I'm talking by desperate, I mean in rounds 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and that's where Shakur really takes it and puts a stamp on his performance and gets it done by a unanimous decision. Yeah, I love this fight. I think it's a great fight. It's decent undercard as well. We have Carlos Adames versus Austin Williams, Keyshawn Davis versus Jermaine Ortiz, Bruce Carrington versus Carlos Castro Manriquez. Sorry. And Jarrell Miller versus Kingsley Abbey. I think that's his name, which is a random fight. I'd have to go Jarrell Miller, Bruce Carrington, Keyshawn Davis, although I'm unsure. Carlos Adames and Austin Williams is interesting. I'll go Carlos Adames. And obviously Shakur to beat Teofimo Lopez in the main event. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this prediction. I think I predicted the fight well. I think I broke it down well. I think I broke it down very quickly, actually. It's just a new style with the notes. Usually I'm rattling shit off the top of my head. Maybe this felt more structured. Maybe it didn't. I'll have to watch it back. If this feels, I don't know, I maybe feel like maybe I've rushed this video. I don't know, though. I'd have to watch it back, but we'll see if I continue with this way of doing it. But yeah, stay tuned to the channel. Of course, I'm covering the fight. I've got a little bit of a fight week planned. I'm going to do a video, a retrospective on Teo versus Lomachenko. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.